So you're seeing a girl and you think she might be a nymph, nymphomaniac. Hypersexuality is, I think, the actual term. Although it's not a clinical diagnosis, but it is certainly something that exists in some women and not others. And if you're wanting just to know, like the implications of that, if it's a good thing or a bad thing, and the signs of it, I've dated a couple, really not that many, yeah, like maybe two women who were like definitely had a very high sex drive, and these are just kind of the things that I've noticed. So like, she has a lot of toys, a lot of sex toys. I mean, okay, before I get into this, you could just probably tell just by the way it is, just like you can just get that vibe from her, and that's probably why you ended up on this video. And maybe you should just close it, even though that won't be good for my retention of YouTube analytics, but fuck it. She hasn't, like, she's that way most likely if you assume that she might be, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. And maybe I have no idea. I'm just taking a guess that maybe women with super high sex drive on average might, you know, be, I wouldn't say like monogamy wouldn't work for them, but they might have, they might, relationships might fail quicker on average, but that doesn't mean you should like end things necessarily. It's just something to keep aware of, but it's definitely a good thing. But anyway, let's get into this a bit more. So yeah, sex toys, obviously if she has like a ton of them, and like talking about like just being able to tell, like if she's one of those free spirited, open minded, like that's cool, nothing wrong with that. But that's probably usually like they just are that type. Like they smell, like there's a certain smell in like health food stores. I don't know what it is, but if their place or if they smell like that, they're probably like a vegan or something. I don't know. Those, like the Venn diagram of like naturalist, I don't want to say hippies, but of that and like nymphs in this, like there's going to be a lot of crossover there. And they might like make that whole persona really like their whole personality. Obviously, if she has a high body count, that's pretty obvious. If she sends you a lot of dirty messages, she's willing to flirt, escalate. You don't see that much. Another one, which I was just curious if there was any actual like neurological disorders or anything that could like cause this. And yeah, apparently there is. There's borderline personality disorder, bipolar, even ADHD, which I unfortunately have. I don't think, can guys be nymphs? They're just called guys. But that's, I don't know, something to keep in mind if she had mentioned that off the cuff, that she is like ADHD or whatever. If she's great in bed, which is just obviously a plus, or she like really enjoys it, which I mean, that doesn't happen enough. Like where it's like they're really in control and enjoy it, and they're just into it. That's great. Nothing wrong with that. She talks sex about all the time. Talks about sex all the time. She has a lot of guy friends. Yeah, that's a pretty strong sign, and definitely like probably the first thing that I noticed with some women who are nymphos. They got a lot of guy friends, which is fine, but it is what it is. Maybe she's not like super serious about commitment. She always wants to hook up every time you see her. Maybe she has that like just a reputation for it. That's certainly an obvious sign. That's it. I mean, again, just to end this, it's not a bad thing. I wouldn't. If you're somebody who's a bit jealous or insecure and feels these feelings, just recognize them. Don't act on them. Hopefully, you can like even like a casual relationship that's just physically based, that's great. If you haven't had that, you should do that at least once and just kind of get used to having that emotional disconnect, because it's healthy. I think it actually helps you for actual relationships. Not that you want to be disconnected, but that you just, if you're just feeling some way, sometimes our caveman brains just make us feel, jealous or whatever, or just don't make us feel very good, and being able to just logically know that, hey, she's not doing anything wrong. We shouldn't be needy or possessive or controlling, because that's only going to push her away, ironically. And just, yeah, recognize it, don't act on it. And just, if she likes to have sex, that's great. That's more of a plus than a negative. And hopefully you can see it that same way with the girl that you're interested in. Good luck. Peace.